Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oopsie, I thought you were taking a picture.
Yeah, okay. Well, no. Cleaning. You can sit down right there. Thank you. All right, Morris. Let's see if we can get this populated. Alrighty. Let's get started. We getting ready to get this teaching started. Everybody, we're getting ready to get it started in here. We'll give a couple more brothers and sisters a chance to log on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wait. Yeah. Thank you. What?
That's it?
Mm-hmm. We got a couple more minutes. So I hope everybody get your pencils and your papers. I'm going to highlight a lecture I did a while back. And it was brought up today with a couple of my students about particular topics. And so we're going to give clarity on things. Because I want everyone to know Islam. Because I want everybody to know, man, that you're everywhere in history. And you must unlearn. You must unlearn and be willing to learn systematically, for you can understand who you are. So we got a couple more minutes, man. We're gonna you can leave. I'll put it back, babe. Or unless you want to, I'll put it back. Don't worry about it. Islam, James.
James, be on it.
Islamism. We're gonna give everybody a chance to log in. I told y'all, man, we got some big things coming up. Islam. I hope everybody come on in. We'll give it a couple. We only almost 3 minutes in. I like to start at the 5-minute mark. So we got 2 more minutes, and we're gonna jump right into it. And like I said, it's like I said, this after this so-called, how can I say it, quarantine, like a lot of people like to call it. But once we go back to doing things, as some like to say, normal, the teaching's gonna start back, and we have some beautiful things that's getting ready to jump off, man. We got a lot more students, and I think we're gonna push back our meet and greet, but we'll talk about that at another time. But things is looking real nice, Morris. So I want to give gratitude to everybody that's trusted me, not only with your time and your science and the finances, man, because this is a trust factor. And I'm telling you, we're going to do some amazing things. And we're going to show this whole movement what you can do with the right people, with the right Moors, with the right families when we come together as a body. I'm telling you, it don't take the whole world. I'm telling you, my goal is 100 Moors. That's my starting point. 100 Moors, and we giving $100 a month, tax exempt. Man, watch what we do, man. I don't have to talk about it. I'm gonna show our brothers and sisters what a righteous man does. But with that being said, man, we got 30 seconds. We're gonna jump right into this teaching because I want to be clear on some topics, man. When I was getting my dual master's degree at Grand Canyon University, I always like to tell stories and my real life situations. I don't want to say stories, but you can connotate them with whatever you want to. But when I was getting my dual master's degree at Grand Canyon University, man, I used to always call home to my dad and be like, Dad, no disrespect to no one. I'm like, this schooling is pseudo academia. You know, I used to stay in the libraries, man. Actually, I used to live in the library, especially the doctoral library. And then I started befriending professors that was biologists and chemists. Then I was cross studying. But man, as I started studying, and then as I started studying from the Royal Archives, it's a whole different type of, when I say peer review scholarly research, it's a thing called the Royal Archives and the Royal Libraries, just like the Library of Congress and all those things, where the scholars and the elite study. Where when I be telling Moors, there's a lot of stuff in personal museum and personal libraries, and a lot of my connections, I have it. And when I say I come from peer review scholarly research, and more science is history, law, civics, geography, archaeology, astrology, business, civics, it's everything. Understanding all the essence of religion, understanding the complete man, understanding international law, local law, state law, federal law, understanding everything, understanding your body, understanding finances. You have to be, and understanding how to build in the community. And you must be an educator. That's when I say we are adepts. And there's nothing wrong with going with your brother having those skills. There's nothing wrong with that. We should celebrate that, man. These are the things that we should be celebrating. These are the things that we should be putting up the top. Like if this is a Moorish movement, man, we can't be walking around like, oh, it's this type of more science, it's this type of more science, and got people acting like rogues. It's only one science, it's only one law, it's only one temple, and it's only one. We must do things the right way, man. And if we do things the right way, we can take things to the world course. Don't y'all know? Look how many Moors is all over the world. And if these temples was doing the righteous things, we would be proclaiming, declaring to have due process, signing a petition, and taking it to the world courts. Because that's the duality of your who you are as your nationality, taking it to the world courts. When I say we must be what? Restored. We all must be restored. One nationality. Nobody's dishing you or your culture, but you must be restored before you repair. Just like with the old school. You must restore it before you repair it, restore it to the back to its originality, and then put some paint on it. But we got to restore things. And everybody, if you know international law, especially when Moors say they sheiks, you should understand the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment. You should know these things clearly. I mean, just like, I don't know, man. That's why I know so many Moors confused, because we listen to the people that give themselves titles. And I explain, like, before I even get into this teaching, I'll explain one thing to y'all, man, then we'll teach. Just like the census. When I tell Moors, what is the census? The census is really not to see who you are in a certain demographic area. All it's doing is just trying to see what money is being shifted in the area. They can use that not to give certain finances. But then again, if you choose to fill out the census or not, if you choose to fill out the census or not, because I'm not going to tell you what to do. I tell you to use your brain and navigate. If you choose to fill out the census or not, why don't you proclaim and declare and have due process just like you do any other time when you say you some more and you're going around and say, what's your nationality? Moorish American. What's your race? Asiatic. And what's your status? Free white. If you understand that and you would say it verbally, then why you ain't connect? Why you ain't changed all your driver's license and your birth certificate? And then that ain't the case. If you did fill out the census, why you didn't fill it out at your nationality Moorish American, your race Asiatic, and your status free white? Because it's a place there to do it. That's called self-identifying. And so these are the things that I be telling people. I'm like, no, you need to be educated on real law and not any magic. You're not no sovereign and no citizen. I want to be clear on that, man. And that's why a lot of people is getting caught up thinking more science is some criminality, and more science is not. We're nobles. We are nobles. There's nothing illegal about this science. I scream this on the corner. In the universities, I wore my fez and turbans every day, and I still do. And I'm a professional in the world. I don't let who I am mess up what my mission that Allah gave me. My mission is to educate, and civilize the uncivil. To spread the message. I'm a Buddha and a Messiah. A Messiah comes in the flesh. This is what people don't understand. A prophet comes in the flesh, and he comes in a voice. A prophet looks like you. See, we've been tricked with that pseudo-academia and that miseducation for them to tell us that we can't make an image of our prophet and our Messiah. You got to be crazy. And you know him, and you know his voice. See, that's the trickery. And that's the westernized education. And that's what I wanted to be clear of as I go back to this teaching. When I did my dissertation, when I was getting my dual master's degree, I destroyed that westernized thought process. I destroyed that modern Jewry. And it's no disrespect. I'm coming from scholarship. And I'm going to give you scholarship and give you the books for you can study it for yourself, for you can build yourself up. What I give is scholarship. I come from no side. Truth have no side. And if nobody, and if the world didn't know this, then the great God Allah wouldn't have made it available for the world can see it. For anybody can research this science. So let's jump to this teaching, man. Oh, thanks for the donation, more. It's Cash App $ KG Bay. But let's get with our Moorish American prayer. We're going to get with this teaching. The Prophet warns all Muslims, governors, order to read the proclamation at each meeting. And it reads, you need my card or something? You need my card? I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical, agitating. Hey, can y'all hear me, Morris? If not, I can plug my mic up. Say Islam. If y'all can hear me, let me know. But I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or in the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, my 2 cents Moors, health and wealth. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Can y'all hear me, Moors? Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If we lose confidence in our prophet, we should turn in our card, button, cease wearing our turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Jewry Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out divine pleas to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting the temple and the prophet. All right, thank you, brother. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by the order of our prophet Noble Jewry Ali. I'm Moorish American prayer. When I tell Moors, I don't get caught up standing to no east. If you're a sheikh and an adept, ask him why. I don't get caught up in standing to no east. And if you read your Quran, I don't care which one you read, you understand. I'm not lost. And if you're an adept and you understand your Kemetic principles and you call yourself a 99 degree, you understand those are man-made directions. And the closest place to find Allah is in the heart. So if you understand this science and this synchronicity, you rocking with what I'm saying. If not, you under some slave doctrine. And you know what I'm talking about. So Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Jewry Ali. Islam, Shalom Alaikum, Ayah Asha Ayah, peace be with you. Whatever name you glorify or you give peace to yourself, fine. Fine. Because the great God, Allah, accepts it all. And you know I'm telling the truth. If you read your Quran, I'm telling you, man. So, Moors, remember I tell y'all, if you a scholar, if you an adept, if you're under the right auspices, you would never get into no religious argument or a debate with your brother or anybody. Because if you a scholar, you can use their books to prove what you're saying. And if you can use their books, why would you get into any debate, even with your own brother that think he knows something with a fair's own? When I tell y'all, man, most of these brothers, they do not read, they do not have libraries. They just on the internet all day. They don't study, they don't know how to read. They don't have lexicons to understand a different language and understand what things mean. You cannot arbitrarily explain words and phrases and how can I say it, situations, if you don't understand the language. And you know what I'm saying, man. This scholarship work, what? Yeah. This is a study and a science, and it's no quick fix. That's what I'll be telling Moors. You would not get this on your own in a 1 or 2 year. Yeah, we know some people are born with abilities as geniuses. We get that. But we talk about what we're trying to do now, man. We're trying to build something. I'm trying to teach you something, and we're teaching each other, and then build something physically so we can have and say, look what we've done. Mind, body, and spirit agreeing as one. Look what our circle we connected. Look at all us 100 Moors coming together. Look what we doing. And we can take this higher and higher, Moors. So what I want to talk about is when you get connotated. So I want you to have your opinions, because I'm going to give you some books to research. And when we have a temple, I'm going to bring all my books from my storage, my whole library, man. I'm going to show y'all, man, you don't have to argue about nothing. All you got to do is go to the source, their pen, their book. So let's deal with it. When I talk about modern Jewry, when I talk about ancient and modern, you got to know it's a different. Just like when I talk about language, when I talk about ancient Paleo and modern so-called Jewish language or Yiddish or whatever. You gotta know the difference from ancient and modern, just like in Masonry. How can, no disrespect to no one, I've been revealed to keys. You need to go back to one of my messages when we remove the veil of all so-called secret societies, just like our prophet did. You got to see the veil and how a lot of things are wrapped in Masonry and how they hide things. How can something that's not ancient, how can something that's not ancient be ancient? And this is science. You can ask any scholar. I don't care what hue they are. They're going to agree, especially a European Master Mason, how I know my professors are. And they agree with everything I'm saying. I'm telling you. That's why they laugh at Negro, blacks, and colors, especially black Masons that give their science to Europeans. No disrespect to nobody. And y'all know I'm telling the truth because it's our science. And the only Negroes that don't know it, that call themselves sheiks, are fools. No disrespect to no one. That's a fool that won't accept your science. Your nationality is Moorish American, but this science is Masonry. You got to understand that. If you don't understand that, you are lost. Socrates and Plato and Aristotle, I mean, look, they the ones stole the science. They were killed for the science. It was our science. Where did they come to learn the science? Egypt. Come on, Moors. Who you think King Menkaure? Research King Menkaure with the left foot forward and a hand in the jacket. Man, you got it. Why you think the European Mason wear all black, man? I'm gonna show y'all all through history the copy Jew, and you must research and study all this. Wait, where you think all the signs and symbols come from? No disrespect to no one. Why you think the Negro Mason and the European Mason dress up in all black and the workman tools are all on the outside? Come on, man, y'all gotta understand this science. Why you think a European Mason, once you become 32 and 33 degrees, what he do? He pray to Islam. And he become a practicing Islam Muslim. That's not what we study as Moors, because anything outside yourself is true shirk. I'm telling you, man, we gotta deal with this science, or we missing the aspect and the essence of the science. Because our nationality, that's a law. So let's deal with this history. When I show you our history, how the reason why we're lost, because people, how can I say it? They stuck with what you was given, what you're supposed to give to the people, and they honored it. And you began to pray to things that outside of yourself and lost who the hell you were. Just like the second president of Egypt, what was his name? Nasser. I want y'all to research everything I'm saying. All the stuff I did on the college campus at Grand Canyon University in lectures, oral lectures. When I showed them the document that the second president Nasser, when he said the reason why Israel is cursed is because God's children left black and came back white. You ain't got to believe nothing I'm telling you. Also, I showed when people don't believe things about Solomon's temple. Let me tell you something about Solomon's temple. What's buried under it? It's a mosque that was buried under the Solomon's temple. See, they don't tell you about Tubal-Cain and Hammurabi of Tyre when the Europeans talk about with the ancient builders. But I guarantee you, a lot of history Moors don't know is under the so-called Solomon temple is a mosque. I'm telling you, man. This is the stuff, that scholarship that a lot of people, they don't know because they think everything is fake. And then now watch this, and y'all know I'm telling the truth. Watch this. You got Negroes always talking about the mark of the beast and the mark of the beast and all this. But why you talk about the mark of the beast and you don't even study the Bible and you say everything is fake, but then you talk about some mark of the beast? That's a hypocrite. That's a fool. You talk about some mark of the beast and you don't even believe in stuff. So what you talk about? You see what I'm saying, Morris? Y'all gotta listen to what people be saying, man. It's like, but you don't believe in certain things. What you talking about, a mark of the beast? Like, what you talking about? Things are already rocking and rolling. You got a credit card, don't you? Shut the hell up. You got a cell phone, don't you? Mark of the beast. Stop being idiots. Technology. Stop with the spookism. Stop with the spookism. Let's get with science, man. I show y'all, man. Tavistock Institute of Human Engineering. If you a scholar, man, all this goofy stuff Morris be posting, all this stuff, I said, man, that is nothing new under the sun. If you a scholar, man, and you elite, you know what you're supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to do, because the world ain't gonna never end. The world will shift and let out the bad stuff. Don't get it twisted. There never was a time when man was not. You got to be a fool. That's why I tell Morris, listen to history. If a person, no disrespect to no one, if a person say they grew up in a cave with some dinosaurs, where the great God Allah let them have that. If somebody say they grew up in a cave with dinosaurs and they ain't had running water and this, not the other, and that's their history, let them have that. Because that ain't my history. That ain't my history. And that ain't your history neither. Edom is the modern Jewry. I promise you, Edom is the modern Jewry. This is just scholarship. Get the Jewish Encyclopedia, 1925 edition, volume 1, page 41. Volume 5, page 41. Get it. And see, because see, I love all holy books. I have every holy book. And when you in class with a lot of Europeans, no disrespect to no one, and a lot of Albions, and they think they know something because their parents say they're Jews, and this, not, and the other. And when I have all their books, like when they try to claim they Ephraim, and I destroyed that in an oral lecture on college, and then they know it's all tradition. It's nothing valid about it. No disrespect to nobody, man. I'm telling you. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. But the Edomites were conquered by John Hyrcanus, who forcibly converted them to Judaism, and from then on constituted a part of Jewish, and they constituted themselves a part of the Jewish people. Remember, man, I'm gonna tell y'all by bloodline. I did this lecture before. The original Jews, per se, are the Igbos and the Ebos. I'm telling y'all, it's no disrespect. You can research it. I done demonstrated this from scholarship plenty of times. Herod being one of the descendants in the Standard Jewish Encyclopedia. This is their book, Garden City, New York, Doubleday and Company, 1966, page 594. This is their books. All you got to do is read it. That's how I know Moors don't read. I'm like, what are you arguing about? Get their book. They're going to tell you who they are. Watch this. The Standard Jewish Encyclopedia, the Garden City, Doubleday Company, 1977, page 589. From this time, the Edomians, Idumeans, became an inseparable part of the Jewish people. That's in the Encyclopedia, Judaic Jerusalem, in volume 8, page 1147. When years before John Hyrcanus had forced Judaism on the Edomians, he eventually conjectured, that the new, though unwilling converts could learn to identify their own destiny with that of his people, the Jews, their history, culture, and religion. Page 121. Jews began in the 19th century to call themselves Hebrews and Israelites in 1860. Now, I ain't even got the Jewish Encyclopedia. That's going to be my next demonstration, probably tomorrow. I'm going to show you right in the encyclopedia when you listen to words, and I show you when most Moors ain't read. They'll tell you, you don't read words. Listen to what I said. Jews began in the 19th century. What you mean? So they called themselves Jews. Began in the 19th century to call themselves Hebrews and Israelites in 1860. Encyclopedia, Judaic, 1971, volume 10 and 23. They call themselves Hebrews and Israelites. This would mean that their ancestors, listen to this, not me, this is their science. And then we're going to get into the deep science of it. Listen to this. Encyclopedia, Judaic, 1971, volume 10 and 23. This would mean that their ancestors came not from the Jordan, but from the Volga, the Volga, not from Canaan, but from the Caucasus, once believed to be the cradle of the Aryan race, excuse me, and that genetically they are more related to the Hun, the Hun, the Uyghur or the Uyghur, Uigur, and Magyar, Magyar tribes than to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I told y'all, read this book called Arthur Koestler, The 13th Tribe. I'm telling you, if you can't get it, you can get it from me. I told you, I got a whole library. And then you need to get the book by Henry Ford. You remember Henry Ford, the automotive industry guy? You need to get the book from Henry Ford. He got a book called The International Jew. And I have that. You can get that from me. I'm telling you, man, you don't have to argue with nobody. All you got to do is come from scholarship, relax, and let the chips fall where they be and keep it pushing. Because I'm telling you, you somebody, and the copy copied you all through history. You done bow down to some religion. And not understanding the essence, and not understanding the history and the historicalness of who you are. So, I'm telling y'all, Moors, no disrespect to no one. The Albion, the European Jews, no disrespect. Because I have friends with everybody, but when I come from scholarship, when somebody try to place themselves over somebody, and I say, wait a minute, not from history, that ain't what it said from history. You can come with that oral stuff, but when I get the books, we do the scholarship, you lying. You a lie. And it can be proven. Let's deal with it. The Jews admit that they are not the descendants of the ancient Israelites in their writings. In their writings. Let's deal with it. Under the headings of A Brief History of the Terms for Jews in the 1980 Jewish Almanac is the following. Strictly speaking, it is incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew, or to call a contemporary Jew an Israelite or a Hebrew. 1980 Jewish Almanac, page 3. Huh? Did you hear that? Encyclopedia American or Americana says Moors want to always talk about scholarship. Let's deal with it. 1985, Khazar, Khazar, an ancient Turkic speaking people who ruled a large and powerful state in the steppes north of Caucasus Mountains from the 7th century to their demise in the mid 11th century AD. In the 8th century, its political and religious heads, as well as the greater part of the Khazar nobility, abandoned paganism and converted to Judaism. The Khazars are believed to be the ancestors of most Russian and Eastern European Jews. Encyclopedia Britannica, the 15th edition. Khazars, Khazars, Confederation of Turkic and Iranian tribes that established a major commercial empire in the second half of the 6th century, covering the southeastern section of modern European Russia. In the middle of the 8th century, the ruling class adopted Judaism as their religion. I'm telling you. Academic American Encyclopedia, 1985. Ashkenazim, Ashkenazim. The Ashkenazim are one of the two major divisions of the Jews, the other being the Sephardim, or the Sephardim, Sephardim, the Sephardim. Encyclopedia Americana, 1985. Ashkenazi, the Ashkenazims, or the Ashkenazims, are the Jews whose ancestors lived in German lands. It was among the Ashkenazi Jews that the idea of political Zionism emerged, leading up ultimately to the establishment of the State of Israel. In the late 1960s, Ashkenazi Jews numbered some 11 million, about 84% of the world Jewish population. The Jewish Encyclopedia, Khazars, a non-Semitic, Asiatic, Mongolian tribal nation who emerged into Eastern Europe about the 1st century, who were converted as an entire nation to Judaism in the 7th century by the expanding Russian nation, which absorbed the entire Khazar population, and who accounted for the presence in Eastern Europe of the great numbers of Yiddish-speaking Jews in Russia, Yiddish Jews in speaking Jews in Russia, Poland, Lithuania, Galicia, Bezerbia, and Romania. Do you hear this? The Encyclopedia Judaic, 1972. Khazars, a national group of general Turkic type, independent and sovereign in Eastern Europe between the 17th and 10th centuries CE. During part of this time, the leading Khazars professed Judaism in spite of neglectable information of an archaeological nature. The presence of Jewish groups and the impact of Jewish ideas in Eastern Europe are considered during the Middle Ages. Groups have been mentioned as migrating to Central Europe from East, often have been referred as Khazars, thus making it impossible to overlook the possibility that they originated from within the former Khazar Empire. Are you listening? The Universal Jewish Encyclopedia. The primary meaning of Ashkenaz and Ashkenazim in Hebrew is Germany and Germans. Do you hear me, Morris? So when people come with that hogwash and want to get you caught up, I say, man, I just come from scholarship. You can look everything up I'm saying. I want you to. I'm letting you know who you are in history, man, and don't let nobody put themselves over you. You don't let nobody put nobody over you. And the copied you because they buried everything in books and they wrote your literature. But the primary meaning of Ashkenaz and Ashkenazim in Hebrew is Germany and Germans. And this may be due to the fact that the home of the ancient ancestors, Moors, of the Germans is Media, M-E-D-I-A, which is the biblical Ashkenaz, right? The cross, the K-R-A-U-S-S, is of the opinion that in the early medieval ages, the Khazars were sometimes referred to as Ashkenazim, and about 92% of all Jews, or approximately almost 14 million of them, are Ashkenazim. And y'all know it's just what it is, man. Watch this. New Glory Encyclopedia. The Gloria, excuse me, Encyclopedia. Khazars. The Khazars, a Turkic people, created a commercial and political empire that dominated substantial parts of South Russia during much of the 7th through the 10th centuries. During the 8th century Moors, the Khazars atrocity, and the Kagan, which is the king, were converted to Judaism. The Khazars established their capital at Iltil, or Atil, A-T-I-L, or I-T-I-L, in the Volga Delta Moors. And for 4 centuries thereafter, this Jewish empire held the balance of power between the Christian Byzantine Empire and the Muslim Caliphate, or Caliphate. Y'all didn't know that, did y'all? I'm telling you. That's why all Islam and Christianity, it's all the same. Christianity, all the same. Catholic, y'all know it. That's why this more science is not al-Islam. Ain't nothing outside ourselves. But the forfeited Khazar city of Sarkil on the lower Don River was built with Byzantine help and served as a crossroads, Moors, to Central Asia. Remember more how I told y'all how Alexander the Greek got from Europe to Asia, which is Africa? The Exxon and the Egon Sea? I'm telling you. The Khazars control many of the trade routes to the Orient. Some of the Romanites, the Jewish merchants from Gaul, for example, were accustomed to crossing the Khazar Empire while traveling to and from China and India. During the late 10th and 11th century Moors, an alliance of Byzantines and Russians broke the power of the Khazars in the Crimea, the C-R-I-M-E-A. And in 1965, not 1965 Moors, but in 965, Swatlava, S-V-Y-A-T-O-S-L-A-V, the first, the Duke of Kiev, K-I-E-V, decisively defeated the Khazar army. And furthermore, to the east, new waves of Turkic invaders overran the remains of the Khazar state, of the Khazar states. I'm telling you, man. See, this is simple. This scholarship. Listen to this. In the Bible, it relates that the Khazar, Ashkenaz Jews were and are the sons of Japhet, not Shem. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem and Ham and Japhet, and until them were sons born after the flood, the sons of Japhet, the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Genesis 10, 1 and 3. Therefore, the Bible proved that the Ashkenaz Jews, the Khazars, are not the descendants of Shem and cannot be Semite. You ain't got to listen to me. You ain't got to listen to me, man. All you got to do is read it for yourself. I just gave it to you. You remember Jewry king? The Jewry king, he adopts Judaism and converts his army and people. The Jewry or the Himyarite. When you look in the Seban's Jewish Encyclopedia, page 403, the Sabeans, the inhabitants of the ancient kingdom of Sheba in southeastern Arabia, known from the Bible, classical writers, and native inscriptions. These genealogies of Genesis give 3 pedigrees for Sheba, the eponymous ancestors of the Sebans, who is variously termed the sons of Rama, Raamah, and the grandsons of Cush. Right, Moors? Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Genesis 10 and 7, 1 Chronicles 1 and 9, right? Ezekiel 27, 22, and Ezekiel 38 and 13. The sons of Joktan, Joktan, and a great-great-grandson of Shem. Genesis 10 and 28 and 1 Chronicles 1 and 22. The son of Jokshan, Jokshan, and a grandson of Abraham by Kithra. Genesis 25 and 3 and 1 Chronicles 1 and 32 Moors. There seem, therefore, Moors, to have been 3 stocks of Sebans. One in Africa, the Ethiopian city of Saga, mentioned by Strabo in the geography, page 77, and the other 2 in Arabia. We got to research the outer line of history in H.G. Wells' book. It's highly probable, Moors, that the bulk of the Jews' ancestors never lived in Palestine at all, which witnessed the power of historical assertion over fact. When I tell y'all, people just make up stuff or oral tradition with no proof. But we know better than that now. Why? Because we scholars. You can't get us with that Eurocentric and that Negrocentric propaganda. And following the story of the conversion, Moors, of a tribe of people in Russia to Judaism, and is the origin of more than 95% of the of the Jews of Eastern Europe, Moors. And facts are facts. And you can research that by Benjamin Friedman. I'm telling you. And without a complete and accurate knowledge of the origin and history of the Jews in Eastern Europe, Moors, it's quite impossible, Moors, for Christians to intelligently understand the harmful influence the Jews have brought up for all this time. And you'll probably be astonished, as many Christians were years ago when we proved this, when we do research, the history of the Jews in Eastern Europe. There's no disrespect to no one, but it's when a person try to put themselves over you, and we can prove from scholarship that all that is lies. I'm not coming from no biased place. I'm coming from scholarship. I'm giving everything I'm coming from is from their books. There's been many years of research. I don't deal with nobody's belief system. By no Christians. That some called, no disrespect, that the Jews in those times in Eastern Europe, at any time in their history in Eastern Europe, were never the legendary lost 10 tribes of the biblical lore. Come on, man. That and the Bible, that's why I said you can't even get mad at me. This is just a historical fact. It's incontrovertible, man. You cannot deny facts. You cannot. Intensive research established the truth that the so-called Jews in Eastern Europe at no time in their history could be correctly, Moors, regarded as the direct lineage descendants of the legendary lost 10 tribes of the Bible lore. Read the European books. Read the 13 tribe. Read the International Jew. These their books. The Jews in Eastern Europe in modern history cannot legitimately point to a single ancient ancestor who ever set even a foot on the soil of Palestine in the era of biblical history. And research more also revealed that the so-called Jews in Eastern Europe were never Semites, are not Semites now, nor they can never ever regard as Semites, and at any further time by any stretch of the imagination, Moors. And this just by simple research that we did on college campuses. It's nothing to be upset about because you base your understanding on a religious belief, and your belief was based off a lie. Research also, if irrefutable truth, it rejects as the fantastic fabrication that a lot of people accept, that a lot of Christians accept. No disrespect, that the Jews in Eastern Europe are the legendary chosen people. You cannot prove that biblically. So very vocally publicized by the Christian clergy from their pulpits. And then no disrespect to no one when you get people talking about, well, this don't matter no more. Well, why it don't matter if you try to make it seem like a Negro is a slave? No disrespect, nobody. It do matter. If you're going to misquote these teachings, you can't get mad because we are in the Aquarian age, and these texts, when you get your brother that's a scholar and an adept, we can teach these teachings from their books. Don't get mad at what the books say and what the literature says and what the writings can testify to. And you don't let these Christian preachers, no disrespect, and it got to do with no color. And I'm talking about, I'm talking about people that look like you, that'll put somebody over you and to give you some false image. That's garbage. And just to have you forget who you are. You got to look at somebody else that don't even look like you, that don't even know you. Just imagine somebody coming into your village and talk about this is your Messiah amongst all your brothers and sisters. Somebody that came from amongst you, that's a prophet. And somebody gonna tell you this is your prophet. Man, go on with that garbage. I'm sorry. I've been through the fire, man. I love the religious books. You can ask my family. I've been through all houses of religion. In the Christian churches, when I get them books, I say, man, this gospel is ours. I show our babies who we are in these books. I'm a Moor. I can show you who we are in all religious books. Point blank. We don't diss no biblical scriptures. You got to be a fool. Our prophet didn't, so why would you? There's no reason to, if you know who you are. If we are the fathers and mothers of civilization, who the hell you think you are? Where you think your ancestors came from? Stop playing. And then they tell us that no disrespect to no one. And I say, prove it by the Bible. You can't. Because I studied the scriptures. I know me and the scriptures are one. And then they try to tell you no disrespect that the Jews in Eastern Europe are the legendary chosen people. Why would somebody tell you that? And about why? And then they say, oh, it don't matter. But then they'll tell you that they the church. Why? How? Why it don't matter? And I tell you all through history, the copy copied you. Just like in masonry, everything, they only can dress up like you. And scholarship and history prove it. You must take your rightful place back and let your brother educate you. Talk about they the so-called chosen one in Christian clergy, and all our Negro, black, and colored brothers that go become preachers and stuff. This is what they get taught at the seminary. You can get the American People's Encyclopedia for 1952. And it records the following in reference, that the Khazars in the year 740 AD, the Khazars were officially converted to Judaism. A century later, they were crushed by the incoming Slavic-speaking people and were scattered over Central Europe, where they were known as Jews. You don't got to be, I'm telling you, it's right in their books. So how can you get mad at somebody who can research anything if you're a scholar and you gonna let somebody tell you something different? And I tell you, no, man, if you understand science, you are the original. You are the original. If you come from scholarship, why? Because it can be proven. And you can clearly see, Moors, that the Jews fully understand their Khazarian heritage. As the third edition of the Jewish Encyclopedia from 1925, it reads this: the Khazars, a people of Turkish origin, whose life and history are interwoven with the very beginnings of history of the Jews of Russia. The kingdom of the Khazars was firmly established in the most of the South Russia long before the foundation of the Russian monarchy by the Vargarians. Jews have lived on the shores of the Black and the Caspian Seas since the 1st century of the Common Era. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Of the Common Era. You see that? After the death of the so-called Christ and historical, Moors, and historical evidence, it points to the region of the Ural as the home of the Khazars. I'm telling you, among the classical writers of the Middle Ages, they were known as the Khazars, the Chozars, Khazars, the Akhzars, and the Aktazars, and in the Russian chronicles as Khwalisses, 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 and Jewry, Bylye, Ugrybye. Also the Encyclopedia Judaic, Volume 10, 1971. It relates the following about the Khazars. Here you go, their books again. The Khazars, a national group of general Turkic type, independent and sovereign in Eastern Europe between the 7th and the 10th century AD. During part of the time, the leading Khazars professed Judaism. That's in the Encyclopedia Judaic, Volume 10, 1971. The Universal Jewish Encyclopedia. I'm showing you, man, our prophet was doing something. Just like I can show you who you are in history, in religion, in spirituality, all in the books. You are. How you going to connect yourself? Don't our prophet say we're from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood? Come on, man. Y'all are missing everything. Khazars, a medieval people, probably related to the Volga, the Bulgars, whose ruling class adopted Judaism during the 8th century. The Khazars seem to have emerged during the 6th century from the vast nomadic Hun, the vast nomadic Hun, the Hun, the Turk Empire, which stretched from the steppes of Eastern Europe and the Volga Basin to the Chinese frontier. Although it is often claimed, Moors, that allusions to the Khazars are found as early as 200 CE Moors, but actually they are not mentioned until 627. And most Jewish historians, Moors, date the conversion of the Khazar king to Judaism during the first half of the century in AD. I'm telling you, research it. Academic American Encyclopedia, the Deluxe Library Edition, Volume 12, page 66, it states, the Khazars, a Turkic people, created a commercial and political empire that dominated substantial parts of South Russia, during much of the 7th through 10th century. During the 8th century, the Khazar atrocity, and their Kagan king were converted to Judaism. So they were killing them, whatever made them convert to Judaism. And then you got the Encyclopedia Britannica, Volume 6, page 836. It reads, a Khazar, a member of a confederation of a Turkic-speaking tribe. Turkic-speaking, didn't say Hebrew, didn't say Bantu, didn't say Aramaic, a Turkic-speaking tribe that in the late 6th century, didn't say Morse Latin. AD established a major commercial empire covering the southeastern section of modern European Russia. But most strikingly characteristic of the Khazars was the apparent adoption of Judaism by the Kagan and the greater part of the ruling class in about 740. The fact itself, Morris, however, is undisputed and unparalleled in the history of the Central Eurasia. A few scholars have asserted that the Judaized Khazars were the remote ancestors of many of the Jews of the Eastern Europe and Russia. Collier's Encyclopedia, Volume 14, page 65, it states, the Khazars, a semi-nomadic tribe of Turkish or Tatar origins, Tatar origins, who first appeared north of the Caucasus in the early part of the 3rd century and the 8th century in the Kagan Bulan, decided in favor of the Jews and accepted Judaism for himself and for his people. I'm telling you, we can keep going in their book. We almost done. The Catholic Encyclopedia, volume 8, page 173. Khazars were an ethnic group belonging to the Turkish people who toward the end of the 2nd century of the Christian era has settled in the region between the Caucasus and the lower Volga and the Don rivers. At the beginning of the 8th century, dynastic ties bound the Khazars more closely to the Constantinople, which led to a limited spread of Christianity among them. They also became acquainted with Judaism from the numerous Jews who lived in that Crimea and along the Bosphorus with the Byzantine Empire. Leo the Isaurian persecuted the Jews in AD 723. Many Jews found refuge in the Khazar kingdom, and their influence was so great that around the middle of the 8th century, the king of the Khazars and many of the Khazar nobility accepted the Jewish faith. This is just their encyclopedias. The Catholic Modern Encyclopedia, page 822. Khazars, a Russian people of Turkic origin, who at the height of their power during the 8th and the 10th century controlled an empire which included, I gave you that. You see what I'm saying? You see, Morris? I'm sorry, I had somebody send me a message. You see what I'm saying, though? The Khazar royal family and the atrocity converted to Judaism during the reign of King Bulgan in 768 and 809 AD, and Judaism was thereafter Moors regarded as the state religion. Remember I told y'all the Jewish author, Arthur Koestler, and he relates the following concerning the Jewish history in his 1976 bestseller, The 13th Tribe, the author of Darkness at Noon, He Promised and Fulfillment, and the Roots of Coincidence, dropped another bombshell by proving that today's Jews were, for the most part, descendants of Khazars who converted to Judaism 7 centuries after the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. And this, of course, is inspired by the story of the covenant in Genesis. And it implies that the Khazars too claim the status of a chosen race who made their own covenant with their Lord. Even though they, the Khazars, were not descendants from Abraham's seed, he cannot and does not claim for them, the Khazars, Semitic descent. He traces the Khazars' ancestry not to Shem, but to Noah's third son, Japhet, or more precisely, to Japhet's grandson, Togarma, the ancestor of all Turkish tribes. Look up Togarma. Also, we have found in the family registry of our fathers, Joseph asserts boldly that Togarma had 10 sons, and the names of their offsprings are as follows. Igura, I-U-I-G-U-R. I want you to look this stuff up that I'm giving you. Dursu, D-U-R-S-U. I might be pronunciating it wrong. Avar, or Evars, A-V-A-R-S. Huns, H-U-N-S. Basilil, B-A-S-I-L-I-I. Tarniak, T-A-R-N-I-A-K-H. Khazars, Zagora, Bulgars, and Seber. We, the Khazars, I'm speaking, I'm just speaking as them, are the sons of Khazar, the 7th, the 13th tribe. That's in the book I told y'all, Arthur Koestler. Research it. Also, the Jewish author, Alfred M. Linthio, he relates the following concerning the Jewish history. This is their books, I'm telling you, watch this. The existence of the state of Israel is not founded on logic. It has no ordinary legitimacy. There is neither in its establishment nor present scope any evidence justice, though there may be an utter need and a wondrous fulfillment. Arthur Koestler answers this question with an emphatic no. In his 1976 book, The 13th Tribe, I told y'all what he says. He dropped another bombshell when he told y'all that the Khazars who converted to Judaism, it's just what it is. You know? They converted to Judaism in the 7th century after the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. And the great majority of Eastern European Jews are not Semitic. It's their pen. European Jews came from the East, Europe. Most of them also are not Semitic Jews. This is their pen. This is their pen. Kotler then veins of 45% of Israelis, save only the Arab and the Sephardic Jews, plus a big majority of the Jews around the world are utterly vacant of links to the tribe of Moses and Solomon. And when I can show you all the history of the Igbos and the Ebos, I'll promise you, I will show you all this. I already demonstrated this. And if you're a scholar, you know what I'm talking about. This is just scholarship. Even in Kotler's thesis, it's startling. The genetic Khazar derivation of most of the Jews, the Sephardic, may be accounted Hebrew by blood, has been long, if not widely known. The home to which Wiseman Silver, Ben Guri, and many other Ashkenazim Zionists have long yearned to return has most likely never been theirs. It's an archaeological fact. It's an anthropological fact. I'm telling you, no disrespect to no one. Many Christians may have much more Hebrew or Israelite blood in their veins than most of their Jewish neighbors. I'm telling you, if we're going to deal with science, and also in the Jewish Encyclopedia, The Time of Research, 1952, in its publication, it's spelled Khazars with a C instead of a K. Khazars to Dreyfus, and his famed trial of the Captain Alfred Dreyfus, as interpreted by Theodor Herzl, that made the modern Jewish Khazars of Russia forget their descendants from converts to Judaism to establish the state of Israel. Research it. You don't gotta listen to me. Research it. And without the you and cry, no disrespect to no one. When they talk about anti-Semitism, you pray what happens to the Zionist movement. The Khazars' conversion was not unique. This is their pen. All this stuff is in their book. And who can say for sure that many Christian readers of this book, when you get it, might not in fact have a better claim, which they do not choose to exercise, to go back home to Palestine. When I show y'all the maps, when I show y'all Morocco and Egypt, all that stuff was right by each other. If y'all know this stuff, then Hanan Semer, Menachem, Bejan, or Golda Amir, Queen Victoria herself belonged to an Israelite society that traced the ancestry of its members back to the lost tribe of Israel. And when the word Judaism was born, Moors, there was no longer a Hebrew Israelite state. And the people who embraced the creed of Judaism were already a mixture of many nations, races, and strains. This was like a diversification. It was rapidly growing. This is in books, man. You can read the science called The Zionist Connection. Number 2, Alfred M. Linthio. It's on page 759 to 768. It's in their books. You don't gotta listen to me. Listen, remember when everybody say anti-Semitism? Hey, it ain't me. I'm telling you, I'm a scholar. This is the stuff I talked about on college campus when a person that try to stop you from doing something or saying something. It's just what it is. I'm gonna tell you, the word anti-Semitism was an invention. You ain't gotta listen to me. You research scholarship. The word anti-Semitism was an invention. Research H.H. Bemis, H.H.B.E.A.M.I.S.H, in a New York address, October 30th, November 1st, 1937. You research that. You research that. See, it's nothing new under the sun when you're a scholar, man. They ain't hid nothing from nobody. In 1848, Moors, the word anti-Semitic was invented by the Jews to prevent the use of the word Jew. And the right word for them is Jew. No disrespect to nobody, man. Look, man, I don't even have my Kai on. Damn, I don't even have my Kai. Y'all be saying, when I wear my Kai, when I travel, no disrespect. A lot of Europeans, they be like, are you Jewish? I'm like, no. No disrespect to no one. And then when you break it down, they know what it is. They down with the with the religious aspect. You a Jew, you believe in Judaism, you a Jew. I'm telling you, man. And you can't get mad at what I'm telling you. It's just what it is. That's just what it is, man. And everyone know it. All scholars know it. There's no reason for no one to get their feathers all ruffled. You know? They ain't come from no Canaan. They ain't from no Palestine. They're from Russia, Germany, and they pins to tell you. So you got, and then, so I go back to my Moors that love this and stuff. If you a scholar, why you gonna let somebody diss who you are? And I tell you, you are the Bible. You are all holy books. I can show you that the Asiatic man and woman is the father of civilization, proved by the Bible. And I just showed you that stock is not the Jew or the Israelites. So who are they? Or you just gonna make them up like my dad always say? Where the damn the Hebrews go? Where the Moors go then? All of a sudden we just vanish off the face of the earth? So you that stupid? You gonna let somebody tell you that these books ain't talking about you? You got to be stupid. And then you talk about you believe in this, you don't believe in this. You got one foot in and one foot out, you playing. Our prophet didn't diss no holy book. He said, I can show you who you are in these holy books. Our prophet Noble Jewry told us, and every scholar tell you from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. And you listen to some Negro Moor talk about, I'm dealing with my ancestors. Who the hell you think your ancestors are? They're the fathers and mothers of civilization, man. Come on. That everybody want to be. Come on, Moors. It ain't even that hard. This ain't even that hard, man. We are the Falasha Jews, all that rich history, and you just gonna play around and let somebody tell you that this is false and this is this because they taught you wrong. Because they taught you wrong. Huh? We talk about modern. Yeah, they are their modern Jewry. The Edom. There is Edom. Edom. This is their pen. Esau is called Edom in Genesis 36:8. This ain't me speaking. Huh? I'm telling you, man. Research it for yourself. And Edom is the modern Jewry in the Jewish Encyclopedia, 1925. It's too simple. It's just too simple. These are who are known and identified as international Jewry today. They themselves state that modern Jewry is Edom. I just broke all that down for you. And there is Edom. Esau is called Edom in Genesis 36:8. And Edom is the modern Jewry, Jewish Encyclopedia, 1925. Volume 5, page 41. If we just want to deal with science, when I be telling more, why are you dissing something you have no idea of? So what you learning in Sunday school? What are you learning? Nothing. You ain't learning nothing. The Jewish Encyclopedia tell you that Edom is the modern Jewry. So if that's the case, why are you not connecting yourself to the holy books? What you doing on Sunday? You ain't doing nothing. Y'all in there playing. The connection between the modern day Jews and the race of Edom. Some anthropologists are inclined to associate the racial origin of the Jews not with the Semites, whose language they adopted, but with the Armenians. Armenians, y'all know what Armenians? And Hittites of Mesopotamia, whose broad skulls and curved noses they appeared to have inherited. I'm telling you, man, you got to remember, when people be thinking of looking at all different type of genetic makeup, don't think everybody that has your blood in you got a big nose. That's the problem, and the color of your hair. Like, you gotta have kinky hair. I be laughing at Negroes. I be like, man, you don't know what blood running in that individual's in their veins, because they don't have no fat nose and no so-called woolly hair. You got to be a fool. That's why I be laughing at people. I be like, man, stop it with the idiotic stuff, man. But according to Strong's Concordance, the word Canaan means, when they try to say trader or merchant, and the Phoenicians and Canaanites, right? When people now let me break some science down. Listen to this. According to Strong's Concordance, the word canon means trader or merchant. So remember I told y'all we got to take our rightful place back in society? Well, my dad used to always tell me, because I've always been selling all my life. He said, because you a Jew. He was like, because you are the Jew. You are like, that's what you do. You a merchant. And once we started doing this together, we can build our nation just like they did. They just took our business model and ran with it. And now they have a place. They got their own. And they ran with it. What we did, we turned our back on what we knew because we saw a damn trinket. I'm telling you, man. Me and my dad talk about this all the time. According to the Strong's Concordance, the word canon means trader or merchant. Canon is the trader or merchant. That don't mean Jew. Canon mean trader or merchant. Are y'all listening to me? Jew don't mean a trader or merchant. Y'all ain't listening to me, man. Man, y'all should be saying Islam all through here. We are canon. Come on, man. Are you listening to me? I bet you never got your concordance, have you? And look that up, have you, Moors? I bet you. Get your Strong's Concordance and look up the word canon and tell me if I'm lying to you. And I guarantee you it means trader or merchant. And the Phoenicians, the Canaanites, are all derived from Ham's ancestors' relationship. You know, with Nam, the sister of who? Let me break this science down. Remember I told y'all, Africa wasn't named after no European. Y'all know that. It was named after when the European defeated the Carthaginian general, Hannibal. He was a Phoenician or Phoenician. Let me break this science down. Y'all be missing it. It's talking about the same people. Y'all letting people set trip on y'all. Listen to what I'm saying. According to Strong's Concordance, the word canon means trader or merchant. And the Phoenicians, as the Canaanites, that's right, and the Canaanites are derived from Ham's relationship with Nam, the sister of Tubal-Cain. And I'm going to show y'all in Masonry how they talk about Tubal-Cain, another master builder, just like I'll be talking about Hiram of Beef, just like I'm going to show y'all it's a Maz that's under Solomon's temple. That's why I be laughing at Moors. When the Moor be like, you a sheik, and I be like, so, and I be talking about the essence of Solomon's temple and the science, they don't know what I'm talking about. And I say, man, I just shake your hand and walk away. Because you're not an adept. I guarantee you. The wife of Noah took with him in the ark. That's in Genesis 9 and 18 and 27. I'm telling you. Owning, like the intermarriage, so-called. I'm just telling you the story. If they want to tell a story, let's tell a story. The intermarriage of their forefathers with Canaanites. There were probably few Israelites without Phoenician. That is serpent seed blood in the veins. We are the serpent blood, man. I'm telling you. Man, listen, man. Why y'all think a lot of stuff, when me and my dad talk about signs and symbols in the medical field, you see that and that serpent going up? We are the serpent blood. Just like a snake when it sheds its skin. Just like the Guana Mabula, the Buddha that sits on the 7 heads of the serpents, y'all ain't even know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. I promise you. They talk about that serpent's blood in the veins. That's in Judges 3 and 5 and 6. Remember the children of Israel, the children of Israel Moors dealt among the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Now, reading the scriptures, how they try to tell you, and I'm going to show you the European perspective, and how they try to say these same people I just read off. They say the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites can't enter the kingdom of their God. I'm telling you, man. Garbage, garbage, garbage. They took their daughters to be their wives and gave their daughters to their sons and served their gods. Yeah. In the book of Yasher, I got them right down. I got the book of Yasher. I got all the holy books in my library. The book of Omens, all that in the book of Yasher. It said, didn't you read this in the book of Yasher? With a question mark. When I be asking more about prereqs, I say, man, you don't know what a prereq is? You need to be reading all this before you got here. That's why you lost in mistranslation. Because you can't translate Hebrew to modern English. It can mean 10 different things depending on the context. I mean, it's just what it is. You can't argue with science. And then the Jews claimed to be the children of Abraham. However, that they were not the true children of Abraham is certain. When they say that they were never in bondage, they say they never was in bondage. They say they never was in bondage. If we're going to tell a story, Morris, that's all. That's all I'm saying. And in the Jewish Encyclopedia, Edom is the modern Jewry. It's in the 1925 edition, volume 5, page 41. It states Edom is the modern Jewry. You can't be mad at me. I told you how that word anti-Semitism was an invention. I told y'all to look that up. You can't get mad at me. Hell. The word was invented by the Jews, excuse me, to prevent the use of the word Jew. You know? And ever since the Jews invented the libel charge of anti-Semitism in 1880s, the word anti-Semitism was first printed in 1880. See? This in the Jewish Encyclopedia. So all you got to do is, it's in their books, it's in their printing. Nothing new under the sun if you're a scholar. Volume 1, 1901, page 641. It has been built up with Jewish money, organizations, propaganda, and lies, such as the Holocaust or the Holocaust. This is their pen, not mine. So that now the word is like snake venom, which paralyzes one's nervous system. Even the mention of the word Jews is shunned unless used in a most favorable and positive context. This is by Charles A. Wiseman, who is Esau and Edom, page 63. I'm telling you, these is their books, man. I can give you all their books. I got all their books. I have to prove this in scholarship. Man, I got a Time magazine that I sent to my dad. My dad was like, oh, I gotta have that. For I can't find it. I got this old Time magazine, Hitler explaining everything because he's talking in German. And he's saying who the bastard is. You ain't got to believe nothing I'm saying. I ain't saying it wasn't no atrocity. That ain't what I'm saying. But I'm telling you, in the books that I got, the old Time magazines, Hitler in there, and they got what he's saying in English, transferred from German. And from German, he telling you who the bastard is. Now, and I bet you ain't talking about me. I bet you ain't talking about me and you. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. And I ain't saying he didn't do this and that. That ain't what I'm saying. But I'm telling you, in their book, in their science, from their mouth, from the films that they were watching, from who the Israelites, from God's people, who they were showing in their film rooms, I guarantee you, he was showing pictures of me and you, and he got descriptions of who the Israelites is. I guarantee you. Now, point blank, in a Time magazine, point blank, and y'all know I'm telling the truth. The term anti-Semitism was coined by the German scholar William Marr, Wilhelm-Marr, in his pamphlet, Der Siege des, Dersiegdes. When I did this on campus, man, my professor, I got a standing ovation. Jutums über das Germantium in 1873. Anti-Semitism and the Christian Mind. Get that book by Alan T. Davies. You probably can't find it, but I got it. On page 24, it states, anti-Semitism. It is pointed out that the United Nations conventions have the effect of changing races into any group having an ethnic belief, religion, common customs, national origins. Wait, let me go back. Let me go back. Let me rewind this and listen to me. Now, see, this is why I love law. What did our Prophet Noble Jewel Ali tell y'all? He said the only way to get out the fire is to go through the fire, right? No, man, that's the European story. You said wasn't the story about Tubal-Cain who was slaying Cain because he thought he was an animal because he was so hairy? Man, that's the European westernized story, more. That's the European westernized story. That's not the science, bro. That's not more science. That's the European westernized story. I guarantee you. That's folktale. That's garbage right there. But anyway, that's something to draw you off the science. I promise you. Just like Haram will be from Tyree, you have to start piecing things and piecing the language. But that's a whole nother teaching, more. Now, Remember I told you we have a right of a nationality and a right to change it. Listen to what this says. United Nations conventions have the effect of changing race into any group having an ethnic belief, religion, common customs, national origin, etc. Did you hear what I just said? So that in this context, multiracial Jews can now claim to be an ethnic group, just like you claim your Moorish nationality. I'm telling you. Anti-Semitic now is made to refer to anything against the concept of this Jewish ethnic group. So we need to have something called anti-Moorishism. Anti-Moorishism. Woo! Anti-Semitism is in no way what is presented to be Moors. This is their pen. This is their pen. Anti-Semitism is nothing but the antagonistic attitude produced in the non-Jew by the Jewish group. The Jewish group has thrived on oppression, on the antagonism it has forever met in the world. That's right. I know. In the book, yeah, sure. I know, Noble. That's why I be laughing. I be telling Moors, man, they don't study. That's how I connect with Moors. I know when Moors study. How about what you say? And that's what those are the people I connect with. Moors be posting books. This is what Moors do, Noble. Oh, I got this book. I got this book. I'm like, okay. And so I be talking about something that's in the book. I say, it's in that book you got. And it's all in the science. Oh, for real, Noble? For real? Yeah, you just collecting stuff. You ain't finding yourself. And that's why I'm saying Moors don't want to be educated. We want to play around. And that's what they be doing. I'm like, man, no book. The books testify who we are. That's why our prophet says you don't get rid of nothing. You don't get rid of your evidence. Are you going to get rid of your evidence and give somebody your history? Your evidence is the proof of who you are. Goofballs playing. And every European that's a scholar, I'm giving you all books and encyclopedia that testify who they are, who you are. And you still going to play? Well, hell, you listen. If you want to listen to me, I'm giving you all their books. You should know who you are by now. You should have been stopped playing. Albert Einstein Collier's magazine, November 26, 1938. At the 1958 World Jewish Conference in Geneva, Dr. Nahum Goldman, president of the World Zionist Organization, warned Jews that a current decline of overt anti-Semitism might constitute a new danger to the Jewish survival. The disappearance of anti-Semitism has had a very negative effect on our eternal life. And the word anti-Semitism was first printed as late as 1880, according to a 1901 Encyclopedia Judaic, Volume 1, page 641. It is a term that was created by Zionism, according to modern Jewish authority, who states Jews began in the 19th century to call themselves Hebrews and Israelites in 1860. Do you hear what I just said? Do you hear what I just said? So they adopted your identity. That's where it went. Because they whitewashed you out the history books. Are you listening to me? That's where they went. They whitewashed you out of the history books. Just like they tried to whitewash you out of all religious books. But if you a scholar, you there. Because they talking about you. You can prove this. How? The maps. The people. It's that simple. I'm telling you, man. This coincides with the cry of anti-Semitism in the encyclopedia. Note that called themselves what this means. And the New Zealand Jewish Chronicles of September 1995 on page 15, the historian Robert Wistrich, he says it dates back to 1879, the invention of a German journalist and writer who wanted to signify that anti-Semitism was not the same as traditional religious hatred of Jews, and therefore coined a phrase which had a racial connotation. The word anti-Semitism was first printed as late as 1880, according to the encyclopedia. So, like I told y'all more, there you have it. I can give y'all so many rabbis, European rabbis, Rabbi SYs, all this stuff. And they talking about all this stuff, man. That's what I wanted to let y'all know in history, man. Moors, you are the people of the book. You got to understand the science. You got to stop letting people just destroy you. You got to believe. You must be a scholar and a researcher and be a part of something that's real. And then I can show you, then I start showing you all through history how the Asiatic man, how they tried to, he was genocided. Just like the Jamaican Maroons, how a lot of Maroons were sent to Nova Scotia. Just like right here, you see this, the Tasmanian. I can show you all through history, man, how they, no disrespect, they killed. Just like when Leopold went to the Africa and the Congo, killed. Just like Mussolini, all that. Just like the Belgians, how they used their own people to kill, shoot, I forget his name. In the Congo, Patrice Lumumba. But the Tasmanian genocide, remember that? I'll give y'all a little bit of this and we gone. We'll talk about this tomorrow. I give history. But the Tasmanian genocide was around 1828, 1826 Moors to 1829. And it's no disrespect, where Europeans or whites or Albions from Brittany wiped out nearly all the people of Tasmania. Yeah. I'm telling you, all through history, I told y'all, whitewashing the history books. What y'all think? Words have duality. Whitewashing them with the pen and killing too. Just like when I told y'all, man, y'all need to research Oliver Cromwell. Research Oliver Cromwell book and all the people they murdered and killed in the name of Christianity, man. But the whites from Britain, they wiped out nearly all the people of Tasmania, then called Van Diemen's Land. And then called it Van Diemen's Land, now part of Australia. And they sent the few hundred that remained to prison camps where they died of disease and despair. And this one person was Trungani. This the last full-blooded Tasmanian. He died in 1876. And I don't want to go all over it. Talk about it right here, man. Right here. And they know, I'm telling you, man. I got the whole libraries, man, of all books, especially the Americans were the Africans. Got all those books, man, but I don't want to pull everything out. But that's it, man. Any questions? Any questions, Moors? Thanks for the donation, Moore. But I'm telling you, our webpage coming, man. Moors, go on my Instagram page, Ibn Hakeem El Bey, and Moorish_haberdasher. Get some apparel from us, man. Become a member and a student. Cause everything's gonna start back up. I'm going back to my home state next month. I got some business to take care of. What is that gonna be? April, May. We're gonna start fresh in June. So all our new members and students should have their books and everything. And we're gonna continue these teachings. You know. Thank Islam to you, Noble. Appreciate that. But any questions, man, on anything particular, Moors? Like I said, I hate to end without answering a couple questions. Some Moors may be confused on. Like, I don't deal with a whole bunch of religious questions, so don't ask me no arbitrary connotated question on no man-made religion. You can ask me something that you may need clarity on that can help you. But I'm not here to argue or get into no demonstration with what a person believes. You can believe anything. And if your belief made you better, okay. But if you a Negro, black, and color, you are more. And I hope you deal with this science. If not, that's okay too. But I'm here to teach the science and to teach you to be a complete 5 of a 5th. You need your nationality and your spirituality. And you can proclaim and declare by yourself. But as a people, we must take it to the world courts. Any questions? Thank you for the donation, Noble. And like I told Moors, man, once I get a lot of stuff going on, man, once the teaching start back, anybody that come on here when we teaching from our Quranic studies, that's not a member and that's not sending donations on for our time, because a lot of members, we do have membership dues, I have to block you. And it's no disrespect to no one. Just like I asked Moors, if you was physically here in Arizona and you came to my temple, wouldn't you give a donation every time? Yes. I don't ask for a particular dollar amount. I don't ask for a particular dollar amount, because whatever you give to these teachings is coming from the heart, I will hope. And if it's coming from the heart, Allah is He's gonna touch that. But if I'm ministering to you, if I'm feeding you some food, and I say, hey man, and you coming to eat, and you continue eating, and it's building you up, you don't think it's worth a donation, a charitable contribution of your choice? And that's all I be saying, man. So sometimes I think that's disrespectful, and we'll spend our finances other places and pay a fee. And I just say, man, a donation of your choice, $5 is great. I mean, it all goes to build what we're doing. And if you want literature from me, you can get all my books from me. You can get all literature from me. Fezzes, hats, turbans, you can get everything from me. It's all a donation. And so once we start teaching again, if our teaching page is not up, I have to block everybody that just pop on here, because the YouTube is just going to be just for my students, and I'm going to change it, and it just be for I change the viewers, and it can just be for the people that that's members. But right now I'm courting everybody, so y'all got another month, man. You should want all the books. You should want to at least view the syllabus and an enrollment package. I tell Morris, the one-time 250 fee, you can do that with $5 a day for 52 days. Bam. And then the once a month $100 membership due, that's $5 a day for 20 days. Bam. Done. I'm telling you, man, we going somewhere. Any questions? Any questions, Morris? No questions? Morris, y'all, everybody that I've been shipping your stuff out, I'm waiting for some more books. I got 3 more sets of books to send out. Morris, if y'all want the fezzes, you know we got them. Any questions, man? We got 1 more minute and I'm off and I'm out of here. Thanks for the donation, Noble. Any more questions, man? I know somebody probably typing, so I will wait for a second just to see. I'll wait just to see, and if not, we good to go. All right. I guess nobody had nothing to say. Well, that's good. When are the Moorish hats going out? I've been sending them out. Did you order one, Noble? If you did, I apologize. I've been sending them out. I've been sending everything out. If you order one, man, Noble, I apologize. If you order one, if you send me your address again to my email, my Gmail. If you paid for one already, man. goodmancareer@gmail.com. GOODMAN@gmail.com. And your address and everything, for I can send you your hat. All right, so yeah. Send me your address. I'm sorry, Malik. Send me your address again, and then if I didn't PDF you the books, send me your email. Send me your email too, if I can send you your books, because you get. Now, which one you already paid for? So you just paid for the hat, Noble. I think you already got the books. But yeah, just send me your address again to my email, for I can have it, and I'll ship it out tomorrow. Yeah, but I've been shipping stuff out. I'll put a bonus package in there for you too, Noble. Any more questions? Okay, I got you. Yeah, I'll put something in there bonus for you too when I send you your package. Okay, I got you. So that's good.
Peace, family.
I guess we good. Cool. I have you locked in, no problem. Yes, I have the books for school. Much appreciated. Okay, but I also want to pick. I also got. I don't know if you got all my books, no, but you got all my books, Malik? Hold on, let me see. I don't feel like getting all of them. I got 7 of them. I got 7 books done. My Sufism and the Triple Rule of the Adapt Chamber, featuring our workman tools, our Moorish American Light of Ali, the Adapt Study Guide in the House of Mysticism, and our interpretation of the Divine Creed. And I got some other books. So yeah, when you send me an email, let me know which ones you got. Let me know which ones you got. But like I said, Morris, don't forget, man, we operate off our donations, man. I know it's a trying time. I understand that. But, you know, we gotta at least, we have to do what we can do and be smart. You don't have them? All right. When you, like I said, when you email me, before I can send you your hat, I got you, Noble. I'll give you some. Those will be on me. All those 3 will be on me, Noble. Just send me the email to my Gmail at Goodman KHARY@gmail.com. Send me your address and I'll ship your hat off tomorrow, and I'll send you those PDF books later. The compression shirt's getting ready to be done, man. Like I said, I got my Noble making the compression shirts for me. So as soon as the compression shirts get done, I'm gonna have the compression shirts to match the hats. Oh boy, they're gonna be out cold. And like I said, coming up, our website gonna be up. Our website is the Moorish_haberdasher, just for our apparel and our regalia, not our temple and school site, but the Moorish_haberdasher. That's gonna be our site with all our regalia, all our items, books, everything you can get. You know what I mean? All our little herbs, everything we got. And then our members, you will be able to have access to our temple and school page, where you can go on there and look at all the lectures, because you're a member and student, and you can go through your lesson plans. It'll be systematic to where I'm gonna record everything, and then you can go on there and watch the lesson plans, or they'll be live as well. So I'll go live on our page, boom, and do the lesson for anybody that want to view live, but it'll be also recorded, and you'll be able to go on there at any of your time, at your leisure, and go on and view the lessons. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I got some good stuff popping off. I'm doing some collaboration with the Moors that make our jewelry. You know, I got a Noble that make a lot of stuff, woodwork. He amazing. I'm telling you, man, we ain't gonna go outside of nothing. I got all our lapel pins. I got all our Moorish ribbons. I got all that. You don't got to go outside for nothing. Because when you deal with me, it's tax exempt receipt. So with that being said, Morris, I am done. I hope I illuminate something for you guys. Remember, you are the people of the book. You must study, study, study. We are here to correct the teachings. We are here to correct the teachings, because the teachings are valid. You just been taught wrong. I promise you. That's all. Islam.